Hello, it's the Randy Duck and welcome back for another video. This time I've got two replays, one leading up to the third mark and then one I get a really nice game where I actually third mark the tank in the Kampfpanzer 50T. If you want to see the equipment and the crew I'm running in this tank, you can see that at the bottom of the screen right now. Now this is a fantastic German tier 9 premium medium tank. I really enjoy it. It's got decent mobility, decent concealment. It's got decent armour as well. It's got a nice turret you can bounce a few shots off of with 8 degrees of gun depression, so you can play those ridge lines quite well. And yeah, ultimately I just really enjoy playing this tank. So we come to this position at the start of Overlord here, just to try and get any punishing shots or anything pushing up into the bowl. But we've got this enemy medium in front of us, has played very aggressively. They pushed up to the bowl and it's going to be a little bit awkward for us here. So we have swapped to the small mini map just so we can see the exact movements of those tanks. But we're just going to try and play this position, being careful to try and sneak in the shots where we can. But like I say, we've got to be careful because obviously there's quite a few tanks which could have multiple angles to shoot us here, as well as the enemy artillery which could potentially shoot us. So we're trying to use this big rock in front of us to try and, as we poke up, just to limit the angles of shots enemy team have onto us, whilst trying to single out the tanks in the bowl where we can get our shots in. So started off the game, we have lose a tiny bit of hit points, but we managed to get 2 penetration shots in, so it's not too bad. Enemy light tank is driving across in the open now. We put a nice shot in, punishing him. I think he also gets shot by our friendly team, which puts him low on hit points there. But we've got to be a bit careful with that light tank just because of the way he was playing. Enemy artillery, as you can see, those shots are coming in at us right now. But we do have that sort of rock that makes it slightly difficult for the enemy artillery to shoot us. Obviously not impossible, but it does makes it that little bit harder. So far we've got just shy of 1,000 damage. But we are 2 tanks down at the moment, so we are losing this game, but it's still very close at this stage. We still haven't killed an enemy tank. We're just going to see if we can try and get some shots in this Centurion, that Italian auto reloader, but he's playing in a way which is making life difficult for us because he's playing well. He's trying to look for shots into us every time we try and poke. So we just got to be patient at this stage and just not do anything silly. Like, we don't want to throw our tanks away right now, and just wait until we see the opportunity to get shots in. With him moving away from us, we're going to use an opportunity to put a shot into this pattern there, putting the pattern onto a 1 shot. We have now evened up the score lines. It is now a 12 versus 12, and it looks like our friendly team's light tank's gone into the bowl here, and it's actually turned this enemy medium tank around. And I'm just going to go in and see if we can try and kill this tank now as quickly as we possibly can, because we've both gone in with our 2 tanks. I want to try and kill this tank quickly because that means I can then push up into the bowl and almost do the equivalent of what the enemy team was doing to us, and now we've kind of won the bowl. We're in a good position to try and get shots into the enemy tanks over this side, and yeah, it just forces the enemy team into a difficult position. So we're on about 1,700 damage now. Just trying to pick up a tiny bit of assistance, although we've got the assistance medal. I don't think we actually picked up any assistance. I'm just trying to spot for our team here. I think there's quite a few of the enemy team have pushed down the beach, down the 1-2 line. So we're probably going to have to go back at some point and maybe defend the base. But right now I'm just focusing on the tanks which are in front of me, like this enemy Waffle E100. We get a nice shot into that through the turret. But we've got to be careful because that Waffle can delete us in the space of seconds, so it's a tank we've got to be very careful of. But so far we still managed to keep the majority of our hit points, being on about sort of 1,500 left, so that's always nice. Enemy T95 here. That's going to be a difficult tank to pen. Probably going to need the heat shells to pen with that one. You do have in this tank, but your standard shells, you've got 268 penetration on your APCR, which is pretty decent, with 1,478 shell velocity, which is really nice. And then in your heat shells, you have 310 penetration. We've still got 1,173 shell velocity, which is not bad for heat shells, to be honest with you. And then on your HE rounds, you've got 53 penetration with 420 alpha on the HE. So just going to try and poke and get some shots into this object tank destroyer there. He has turned his attention to us now. Again, still a pretty close game at this point. We're only 1 tank ahead right now. So we do have to be careful we don't throw this game. It's been one of those games we've kind of worked quite hard, but we've not really had a massive game as such at the moment. We've got 2,300 damage with only 6 tanks left, but we have sort of had to. I don't mind those games where I prefer playing like that when it's not just that complete sort of waffle stomp one way or the other. It's not as fun to play. When you have to try a little bit, makes it a bit more exciting to play. Looking to try and get a shot into the D95, but it gets finished off by our friendly medium tank, and now we're going to try and pick up a bit of damage on that waffle E100 while we have an opportunity to. We don't shoot the HE at that waffle turret anymore because we've only got 53 penetration. That turret armor's been buffed, so you need about sort of above 80 penetration really to reliably hit it. We traded one there with the enemy tank destroyer, which is not ideal, but the thing is, it's come to that stage of the game where I just want to try and pick up the damage now. And we had the hit points to spare. But with a enemy TT coming behind him, the object enemy tank destroyer has now fired. At this point, we should be able to finish him off before he even reloads. Well, not reloads because he just put a shot into our friendly team. But we should be able to pick up the kill there, and we do. Picking up our second kill and 3,700 damage, 600 assistance, only 3 kills, tanks remaining. One of which is going towards our base. The other we know is artillery down here, and then there's that Waffle E100, which was probably on about sort of 600 hit points left. Going to try and squeeze one into this artillery. We do put him onto a one-shot. Hopefully we can finish off the kill shot here. We might have the opportunity to. We do, and we pick up our third kill of the game. And it's just this Waffle E100 now. And can we get any last damage in this tank? He does take out our friendly tank destroyer there, which I'm guessing this waffle is probably, I don't know, he fired at least 2 shells, I think. So he's either gone on reload or he's just kept the last shells in this clip. So we just got to try and go in because we are a 2-shot to this Waffle E100. So our friendly leopard is there. We're just waiting to see if we can try and squeeze in any last shots. It'd be nice just to pick up one last shot of damage in this game. I think we're fairly close to the free market stage. I can't quite remember how close we are. I mean, we're on like 93 or something. We're just, it isn't a massive game this what we've had here, but it's not bad for the tier 10 matchmaking. We do pick up 4 kills, 4,300 damage and 600 assistance. Let's just see how we got on. We actually do pick up the ace tanker in this replay and the medal for killing the artillery. But let's move on to the final replay where we do go on to have a really nice game. Let's move on. Okay, so here we are for the final replay then. This is the one where we do achieve our third mark of excellence on live oaks. It's tier 10 matchmaking with 2 enemy light tanks and 1 enemy artillery. And we do go on to have a nice game in this replay, which is always nice when you finish off your third mark with a decent replay. So initially we are going to push down the train tracks here. You can see this tank does have good mobility. You've got a top speed of 60 kilometers an hour. And you can get to that speed fairly quickly as well. So that's always quite nice. And we're just going to try and push down here. I don't have that many tanks coming with us right now, but we do have a few. I'm just going to see what we spot initially. Work out how many enemy tanks are coming this way. And then we can sort of just base our decisions off of that, So first thing I'm going to do is try and push down this outside, because at this point I don't know how many tanks are going to come. I want to try and get a sort of a different angle on the enemy team, and I'm going to try and use these bushes. One thing I like to do is knock down this tree right here, and then you can pull back and you can actually use that as a bit of extra cover here. If you knock them both down like that and then get behind this bush, you can actually go undetected while you're making your shots. But at the moment it doesn't actually look like any of the enemy team have pushed down, and that means to me, I suspect the majority of the enemy team are probably going to be playing in the sort of campy sort of D1-2 area, and that's always quite, when the enemy team does this from this spawn, for me that's good, because I know I've got a good opportunity of picking up quite a lot of assistance damages here. Because what I like to do, if the enemy team haven't contested this side, is try and push up to sort of like the G sort of 3 position, which you will see see in a minute, and I can try and spot the enemy team and pick up a lot of assistance. And as it happens, the enemy team have pretty much given us this side for free, and when they do that, it's really about can you make this play as quickly as possible? Like, if you're able to make this play quickly, and you know you've got, importantly, you know you've got the tanks which can cover you. Like, you know you've got the tanks in the D sort of 6 position, or the tanks on the sort of train tracks. You can push up, spot the enemy team, be in a good position, hold down, and then pick up assistance. But with the enemy light tank pushing across like that, and this tank right now, you see I'm trying to focus out. They're the tanks I want to try and focus out, because from there they'll be able to have shots into us, and we don't really want that. So we're trying to get some shots and focus those out as quick as we can. So at the moment we haven't really done a lot, but this is where it's probably going to change right now. And we're going to spot all the tanks up on the top of that ridge, and this is where we now can pick up a lot of assistance, and you can pick up a lot of assistance very, very quickly when you catch tanks out in an awkward position. Enemy Conqueror is crossing here. We get some nice side shots here. We've started to pick up a little bit of assistance already, getting about 1,000 assistance now. We're hoping our friendly team are going to try and take out this Conqueror, because he has side shots into me at the moment. So I am, as you see, focusing this tank out. Unfortunately, that shot doesn't, well, I guess in the end it tracks him, and then we end up picking up a bit more assistance, which is good. And now I'll just focus on keeping these tanks lit. We get a lovely, this is where the assistance really builds up now. The enemy team, our friendly team, are in a position to shoot them, and suddenly we're on 4,000 assistance and 2,000 damage. And I'm thinking, right, well, this has got a very good opportunity now to free mark this tank. I think I was almost 1% away at this point, so I did need a big combined game in order to free mark it in one game. But I have every opportunity to do that now. I'm in a really good, strong start to this replay, especially when you spot a Waffle E100 in the open like that, because that tank, you can pick up assistance very, very quickly, because tanks aren't really going to bounce it. And now we're on 5,500 assistance, 3,000 damage. And I'm thinking I may have free marked this tank already right now in this game, so that's good. It's just about trying to, I'm having a decent game, making the most, and trying to get as much out of this game as I possibly can, because it is still a fairly close game right now. Well, it's that completely close, 9 versus 9. But we're on 6,000 on assistance now, 3,000 damage of our own. We're trying to get shots into this tank crossing. And again, we've got many reasons to move right now, because we're already picking up sort of damage. There is tanks now crossing, you can see, who's come out of the town area and are going towards our base. But right now I'm just having shots, on reload, I'm having shots. So there's the dreaded enemy AVRE there, which can one-shot us, so we've got to be very careful with that tank. That's a tank which can change your game very, very quickly, so we've got to be careful of that. But it looks like at least 4 of the enemy team remaining, out of the 7 enemy team remaining, have started to push across out of the town. So I'm thinking about trying to move up and get actually underneath the hill where our team are, to try and get some shots into those. So that's what I'm thinking right now. But at the moment, I'm just trying to get the shots in where I can. Like, it's still a close game. At this stage, we are winning. Enemy Amex tries to pose at any opens. We have good shots into this tank. We put one shot into him. Unfortunately, just gets into cover. I'm hoping our team will take out this tank as quickly as we can. Unfortunately, I think he's managed to escape there. And actually, although albeit with not a lot of hit points left, has managed to escape. The enemy artillery is now actually spotted in the town area, down the A13 area, so he's managed to escape. We're now trying to push up to this ridge in front of us. Again, really to try and keep the enemy team detected is what I was thinking. But with that medium tank who's on the far right, that's a little bit awkward, those tanks in that location, because then they're going to potentially have shots into us. Now I've kind of pushed into this situation, and I'm actually not too comfortable. We eat a shot there. I think he was shooting at my other enemy team, so I wasn't actually spotted, and we eat one, unfortunately, from when he was trying to shoot our friendly tank, which was with us. But with those tanks pushed down the sort of 0 line, if they start to carry on pushing around, we're essentially going to be in the open to them. So I'm thinking right now I don't really want to be here anymore, because, like I say, with that standard B or whatever moving down, if they poke up on the train tracks, I am just going to be, a sitting duck. So I've decided that I'm going to try and fall back. Our friendly artillery has started a bit of cap pressure, which that is, I assume that's going to mean the enemy team are going to have to go back for that reset. So I suspect that tank, which was coming down the train tracks, is probably going to continue to push to get the reset. Otherwise, you know, the enemy team are going to lose this game by cap. But I'm just trying to pull back right now and just get into another position to cover our friendly team, because this is still very close. And I think the enemy team have 2 IS-7s, which is going to be, they're fairly. Oh, I think they have an enemy AVAD there as well. So this game's definitely not won. It's still very, very close. But I think at this point it depends if the enemy team get the reset, whether they win or not. IS-7 is pushed across in the open. We try and get a shot into the lower plate. Unfortunately, we don't penetrate it. But we probably need the heat shells too. But I'm just trying to keep them spotted so we get shot by our friendly team right now. And just try and pick up a bit more assistance. Bearing in mind I'm already on sort of 6,000 assistance. It'd be nice to try and pick up a bit more on this tank. But I think there's a little bit of cover in between. But the enemy artillery, our friendly artillery who's in the cap circle, is also shooting at this tank. So if I keep him detected, I've got a real good chance of picking up more assistance here. Unfortunately for us, our artillery gets taken out by an IS-7 who went back for the reset. Now that's a problem for me where I am, because that IS-7 is going to be able to shoot us in the rear if we don't push forward. But I'm pushing forward into another IS-7, which again is just far from ideal, and I then get taken out by the IS-7 behind us, which, yeah, it was kind of a real unfortunate situation. I wasn't expecting an IS-7 to come behind us, and we got caught out really, because when we tried to get safe, we couldn't. I think I should have put forward backwards into the bit behind us, and I could have got safe. I think that's what I should have done, and maybe I made the wrong play there, which is a shame. Because unfortunately, spoiler alert, we don't go on to win this one. So we're going to skip ahead to the scoreboards to see how we got on. Okay, there you go. Unfortunately, we don't win that one. We do still have a good game though. We get 1 kill, 4,300 damage, 6,300 assistance, picking up the 3rd mark of excellence, having like a 10k combined game. Real shame at the end. I feel like if maybe we could have done a bit more at the end there, but we got caught out. And that's just how it is sometimes. But thank you so much for watching, and as always, happy tanking.
Enemy in sight. Hadouken!